Here's what you missed on the Sully Baseball Daily Podcast.
Baseball has all the good things in life and society in terms of teamwork and community and everything. It also has a nice, safe place for the bad things in society. You know, schadenfreude, hate, anger. You can express all that in kind of a harmless way in baseball. You can really hate a team, or you can really want a team to lose or see them suffer, and know that there's no real consequence. If you're a Red Sox fan, you hate the Yankees. That's a good outlet for it. I'd rather you hate the Yankees than hate a race. I would rather a Yankee fan hate the Red Sox more than he hates a religion or a sexual orientation. It's good to get that out of your system. And Dean Obadala, who is a wonderful comedian and writer, and he is frequently on CNN giving his opinions of the events of the world. And he said, like, I support Boston, but there's no way I'm going to root for the Red Sox. He wrote that today. And I wrote back to him and said, like, I get it. Because I was in New York on September 11th. I lived in New York from 1990 to 2005. I lived there 15 years of my life. I met my wife there. My children were born there. I essentially became an adult in New York City. And I was there that day. And I cried that day. And I was angry that day. And I signed up with the Red Cross, not just to give blood, but me and many other people I know went down to do whatever we could. We worked at the respite ship. We volunteered. We did everything we could to help. And I felt such unity with the people of New York. And yet I rooted against the Yankees in the 2001 World Series. And I've had so many people, including Red Sox fans, say, how can you root against New York? I said, I'm not. I'm rooting against the Yankees. There's a difference. I didn't root for the Yankees after the 2001 World Series, not because I hated New York. I just compartmentalize. I love New York. I just didn't want to see the Yankees win. I remember when I was a little kid, there was a bumper sticker that they sold at Twins Enterprises in Boston. And this was around 1978, 79. And this is when the whole I Love New York campaign. Remember that? I love New York. And I think it came in the wake of when things were really bad in New York in the mid-1970s. And it needed a rebound. And heaven knows it got one. And there was a bumper sticker that they sold at Red Sox games that said, I love New York too. It's just the Yankees that I hate. And that's exactly it. It's good to have an outlet for these negative things. It's like lancing a boil. It's a harmless way to have that sort of bitterness and anger. And I think it should come out. I don't want to see Yankee fans rooting for the Red Sox. I didn't root for the Yankees. But send your love, your thoughts, your time, your blood, your sweat, your tears, everything to the people of Boston, just like the people of Boston did on September 11th. And understand that we're going to still hate your team and you're going to still hate our team. And that's a good thing. You should have that. You should have schadenfreude in a sense of the world of sports. You shouldn't be happy when someone loses their job. You shouldn't feel good when bad things happen to people, but you can feel good when someone loses. There's an industry of people who want to see Alex Rodriguez fall on his face. This is healthy, believe it or not, because you're expressing it that way and not expressing it in something of which there's tremendous consequence. This is one of the ways baseball is a respite, not just for the apple pie and Americana and, oh, golly, we're going to win the game today, but also a little bit of FU. I think more people should have an FU outlet. It's why you don't see too many serial killers living in New York, because people have an outlet for their anger. It's when they bump into someone, AFU, and boom, you've relieved something. If you don't have that outlet, then you wind up in a log cabin in the middle of Montana, and you've got a head in your refrigerator. You have to have an outlet for anger and hate and schadenfreude and wanting to see people suffer. And sports allows that. And I think it's a healthier thing than watching reality TV or wanting someone to suffer in another part of the country or watching someone getting beaten up. It's more fun to sort of pick on this team that got their butts kicked. It's more constructive. We create a more constructive society when we have a place where we can get together for the good things and we have an outlet for the bad things.
There's a new podcast every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Unless there's a leap year, then we're going to do another one. Catch us on iTunes, Soundcloud, or follow us on Twitter at Sully Baseball. I'm your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. Please call me Sully.